on Memorial Day. We had some wonderful Memorial Day observations, and in my own town, we had a gentleman who was very, very active in bringing honor to our veterans and being very aware of events that need to be addressed. His name was Jimmy Viola, a very patriotic man, and we renamed our VFW building Corolla, Barber, Viola, VFW in remembrance of him. And I can remember a time when Memorial Day was not being celebrated the way it should be, and thank God there are people like Jim Viola who are bringing it back, and I think almost all the towns in Bergen County had very nice commemorations. We had the Bergen County Asian American Pacific Islander. We are so diverse in this county. I can't even tell you how many different ethnic groups, nationalities, religious groups are here, and we try to give honor to all of them. The Bergen County the Community College, which we call the jewel in the crown, had its commencement, and over 2,000 students graduated with an AA degree, and the community colleges are fantastic, and more people are taking advantage of the possibilities of increasing their education. But without question, Bergen Community is very, very special, and the best probably in the state, if not the nation. Fort Lee is a very old town. It goes way back to the Revolution, and if any of you have been there, you see that it has changed tremendously over the last 100 years. But we celebrated last Saturday the 100th anniversary of the library, which is very, very important. And we saw the evolution of our town. And I think everybody should be proud of their towns and remember what the town is all about and how they can make contributions. And with that, it's your history lesson for this evening, and I thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Voss. Freeholder Sullivan.
I just want to continue to listen to Joan Voss. Wonderful.
I'm a history teacher, and I love it.
Don't put that on my time pad. First, I want to thank River Edge, the Mayor and Council, for having us here today. We have a great time, we have great people running it, so thank you for welcoming us into your home. I want to touch on some shared services. Tonight, the board passed resolutions, 2 shared services agreements. Resolution 60319 is an agreement with Fairview for Anderson Avenue drainage improvements. And 62119 is an agreement with Lodi for short-term rental of a county-owned street sweeper on an as-needed basis. Once again, these agreements are at the core of the savings that Bergen County is providing to its residents. With the council people here, I'll just tell you, if there's any shared services you need from the county, please reach out. I'm sure you do. It is a tremendous cost savings for both the municipality and the county. And that's how we here in Bergen County keep our tax rate as low as we've done over the last 3 years. So kudos to the Freeholder Board for all that. Memorial Day parades, we all did a whole bunch of Memorial Day parades. We just like to stress that, it's not about a parade, right? It's about people that serve the country and gave us the freedom that we have today. So I did attend a few, Bergenfield, we had Triborough, which is Montvale, Woodcliff Lake, and Park Ridge, and Rivervale had a parade. So I also attended the graduation of Bergen Community College with a few of my colleagues. It's just a wonderful community college that continues to get better. We talk about stigma-free in other areas. Let's not be stigma-free about college, because it's a community college, but it's a fantastic 2-year university that really is a top-notch education. So please, if you're on the fence about where to go to college, don't be stigmatized about going to a community college, because that is the best one in the state. And here in the Freeholder Board, we continue to fund it. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Bergen County Sheriff's Department of Corrections, Officer Lieutenant Jeff Keenan of Dumont. Lieutenant Keenan recently made the news for saving the life of his best friend, Jason Hoffler, retired Bergen County Sheriff's Correction Officer. Specifically, Lieutenant Keenan volunteered for medical testing to see if he was a match with his best friend, who was suffering from kidney failure and needed a transplant to stay alive. Lieutenant Keenan was found to be a match and did not hesitate one bit to become his best friend's boarding guard. I'm happy to announce that today both men are recovering from the transplant, and that it was a success all around. I'm so moved by the story, and I am proud to announce that I have reached out to Congressman of the 5th District, Josh Gottheimer, and formally nominated Lieutenant Jeff Keenan to be a recipient of the Congressman's 5th District Hometown Hero Award. So kudos to him. And the last thing is Pride Month. I just want to wish everyone happy Pride Month. Thank you very much.
Freeholders, Miller?
Chairwoman, if you wouldn't mind just skipping me one person, I'm trying to find a list.
Oh,
If you
sure.
wouldn't mind, thank you.
Freeholder Gans?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I took the Memorial Day parade route, as many did. I took the opportunity to speak to the crowd, which was a little bit thin, but nonetheless enthusiastic. What I wanted to emphasize as we honor the dead is that there are 22 Americans every day who are veterans who commit suicide based on their service record. This is something, it's time that we do something about it. We do a great deal for the veterans who are alive. We do very little to prevent the suicide themselves. I have some other things to chat about, including the Ramadan festivities that many of us took part in, but I think I will pass the rest of it and leave my time ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder, sir?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Just to underscore some of what David touched upon, and as so many of my other colleagues did as well, we all went to, I was in Rutherford and Fair Lawn and Teaneck and North Arlington on Memorial Day, and to see these community expressions was something that was so beautiful. But to really pause and remember how we're able to celebrate them because of those who made the ultimate sacrifice is something that I think we all need to just pause and also remember on that day a little bit more emphatically. On the other side of the equation, I have had such a wonderful experience celebrating Pride with so many communities. With Lyndhurst for the first time, with Freeholder Sullivan, with Rutherford for the first time, Glen Rock, Ridgewood, Tenafly today, Englewood, Westwood, Waldwick. Bedford Edge is not on that list.
We proclaimed Pride Month at our first meeting.
Okay, well, we look forward to a flag raising at some point going on in the future because it's an important expression and opportunity to show all the members of our community that we are embracing them for whatever their identity, whatever their sexual orientation is, especially this past year as we as a board and as an administration engaged in our first LGBTQ Youth Summit. So many of our kids are dealing, especially in this population, are dealing with increased anxiety and depression and bullying and homelessness and so many other challenges. For them to have an opportunity to feel that they are accepted and beloved by their community is something that has been really meaningful for me to see in so many of these towns. And I really want to applaud the now 10 and a half communities that are going, I give Waldwick a half, who are going ahead and celebrating. And likewise, as Freeholder Gans touched upon, today is the Eid. So I want to say Eid Mubarak to all of those in the Muslim community, and hoping that your Ramadan was a meaningful month, and look forward to now being able to join you all for lunch. Speaking of which, we had Mentor Appreciation Lunch today. I had the privilege of having from the Bergen County Academies Michael Pintori as an intern for this entire calendar year, and this was an opportunity for them to say thank you, but for also us to say thank you to them for their service. And it was, I look forward to having other engagement with the Bergen County Academies going forward, and having more interns, and thank them. Really want to thank Michael on the record for his wonderful work in this course of this year. I, in the past week as well, both went to the Korean Community Center. They had a seminar for individuals in the Korean community who are having children transition, 14 to 21-year-olds who are dealing with disabilities and who are trying to obtain information on how to navigate the system. I'm thrilled to see that kind of engagement from the Korean community and to see an active partnership with KCC going forward so that we can continue to disseminate information about the wonderful services that we're all, the Freeholder Voss I know, and I and others on this board are working so hard to make sure are available to our post-21 community of those who are uniquely abled. I want to just pause for a moment and say a special thank you. So, this past Friday, we celebrated the retirement of a beloved county employee, someone who was a mentor to me. I worked on her first assembly race when I was in my early 20s, and she was one for me who showed that women could lead, that women could bring their voices to the table, as she was the longest serving female council person. She retired from her position with our economic development department. Donna Spotto will be profoundly missed, and she is someone for whom I am tremendously grateful for the example that she set. On that note, thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Rosa?
Sure. It's very nice to be back in this chamber. I started out as a local reporter for the Bergen Record covering River Edge. And I actually worked with that guy, Mayor John Curran, who's looking down at me right now. All of us attended a variety of Memorial Day commemorative services and parades. I was in Oakland, Mahwah, and Pagoda. What I found especially poignant were the speeches by our Vietnam vets who reported being shunned and discredited when they came back from military service. We never want a vet to feel anything less than honored and celebrated. We renew our commitment to our vets and our active duty military. And we remind folks that Bergen County is proud to have ended veterans' homelessness. We've helped create a number of veterans housing communities around the county. In fact, on Friday, June 14th, we are attending a ribbon cutting for veterans housing in Allendale. We also attended a number of LGBTQ flag raisings, one in Ridgewood. I did another in Glen Rock. I could not match Freeholder Zura's record, but she has been such a wonderful liaison and community organizer for the LGBT community. She deserves a lot of praise for that. At the events I was at, our Attorney General, State Attorney General Gurbir Graywell spoke. He pointed out that while the Trump administration has banned most trans soldiers from serving, the New Jersey National Guard makes a point of accepting trans soldiers in its ranks. On another note, we want to bid farewell to Bergenfield Police Chief Kathy Madalone, the first woman to lead a municipal police force in Bergen County. We've been saying farewell to our women. She retired May 31st, Police Chief Kathy, to take a job as police chief in lovely Pacific Grove, California. One upcoming note, the Bergen County Homeownership Fair takes place Saturday, June 8th at the Hasbrook Heights Hilton. The event, which is hosted by the Bergen County Community Development Division, it's free. It features bankers, mortgage companies, home inspectors, and a wide variety of home services. So anyone who's looking for a home, check out our fair. Thank you.
Freeholder Tinelli?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Unfortunately, I can't find the email with the list that I wanted to do, so I'll wait till our next meeting. So the one thing I wanted to discuss tonight, everybody covered all the parades and all the activities that we've been, is that 201 Magazine for Father's Day selected 5 Bergen County first responders for Fathers of the Year. So Daniel Noir from Leonia Volunteer Fire Department, Dan Keogh from North Arlington Volunteer Fire Department, Doug Redax from Rochelle Park Police Sergeant, and a councilman in Montville, and father of 2, Eric Larson from Mahwah Police Detective, and Christopher Barron, Assistant Chief of Norwood Ambulance Squad, and father of 1. All 5 of those guys were selected as the Fathers of the Year by 201 Magazine. The chairwoman has been gracious enough to allow me to organize having them come before the board at our next public meeting so we can honor them appropriately. And that'll end my report. Thank you.
As we were discussing Memorial Day and how important it is to really thank our veterans, because shouldn't be Memorial Day that we should be thanking our veterans. We should be thanking them every day. And I know our board here, we're so committed to our veterans. And our resolution 592 is a grant, and this grant is for transitional housing for services, which we provide at our Alfred J. Thomas home, which is located in Garfield, and that's where our veterans stay while we provide housing for them. And it's just so important that we think of them every day, and that we were able to end veteran homelessness here in Bergen County. So I really thank the board, and we'll do that together with the county executive, because we always have to thank our veterans each and every day for our freedom and for everything that we have here in this amazing country. I think we talked a lot about all the parades, so many, but one thing I wanted to say is when I went to Westwood, I couldn't believe the amount of children that were there, and that actually really made me happy just to see how all the parents bring out their children. You gotta start from really young and educating them how important it is to come out and really thank our veterans, and for them to see at a young age how important it's, you know, just to celebrate with all the adults and just to see all the different veterans that are there to celebrate with them, and really just to thank them each and every day. I had the opportunity to go to give out scholarships with Greater Bergen Community Action. Every year they give out scholarships to students that have not only academic achievements, but they are also have given back to their community. I mean, these are kids that are like 4.2, 4.3. I mean, these kids are like amazing students going to these great colleges. And most of them have these great stories. There was a young girl that she aspires to be a doctor because her brother is autistic, and she just wants to find a cure for autism. Just to hear her story. Or another young girl that came, I forgot one of the islands, she said she was from Haiti, and that she would just want so bad that she can become a dentist, and she can go back to the island and be able to give, you know, dental work to everyone at the island, you know, pro bono. And she was just so cute, and just to hear all their stories. So that was exciting to be able to be giving the scholarships with Freeholder Gans attending with me. It was definitely wonderful. I attended a lot of pride flag raisings, and I give kudos to Tracy for your advocacy. But thank you. I also got the opportunity to teach a civics class this past week. So my Emerson's 8th grade class, of which my daughter wasn't feeling well. I'm sure she was happy too, because, you know, oh, mom's in class, geez. But her teacher had reached out to me, and she said, oh, would you mind coming in, because I'm teaching now more local and county, you know, politics, and she wanted to explain to everyone what a freeholder was. And actually it was fun. And one thing that I did notice in the class, because it was actually on their lunch break and they were able to come in, 98% of the class, because there was only 2 boys, all girls in the class that came to listen to me speak about what a freeholder was. So there you go. Freeholder was. That goes
It's a
along
lot
with
of fun, isn't it?
Exactly.
It wasn't like that when I was growing up.
I also had the opportunity to speak at the Bergen Community College commencement. I couldn't believe we had about 2,200 graduates. That was such an exciting day. I know we all enjoyed going to them. It definitely was. I also wanted to remind everyone that this upcoming week, we have a lot of things going on at the county, starting with, we have Filipino, we have the Independence of the Philippines, Wednesday, June 12th. On Thursday, we will be having our own county pride flag raising, right, Thursday at 5:30. And on Flag Day, which is this coming Friday, June 14th, we're going to have our grand opening of our Soldier Hill Golf Course, which we're very excited to do. And not only that, we're going to rededicate a plaque to our very own Emerson resident, Randall M. Carlton, who was a veteran. So we're going to be doing a whole veteran services, and we're even going to be giving free classes. I really want everyone to come out and join us on that day. And again, I would like to thank River Edge, and I really want to thank everyone, and that you actually stayed the whole meeting. Thank you. But thank you so much for hosting. Thank you for having us. And we had a great time here with you tonight. Thank you so much, and to the residents. Okay, so I guess that's all right. There being nothing further to come before this meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:22 PM.
That's insanity.